Okay, never mind, never mind.
But if you look at Georgia and you look at Alabama,
Kyle. Yeah,
Hey, Jordan, what's going on?
what's going on, man? I'm sorry. We went out like 5 times, bro.
Hold up. I can't hear you for some reason.
You can't? Hello? Can you hear me?
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, for some reason, you're not coming through to me. Hold on, let me try something here.
A game we've been all waiting to see from DJ Uiagalelei. Threw for 371 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's got 10 touchdown passes this season, already won more than he had in 13 games last season. How does a performance like that help him heading into the weekend at home in a great environment against NC State?
All right, say something.
Hello?
All right, I got you now.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm saying we went live like 4 times, bro.
Well, because
man.
I couldn't see your camera either, so I didn't know what. Yeah, that was my fault. But
It's all good, man.
But YouTube, Facebook, what's going on? It's the Big Three Podcast, joined by Jordan and camera went out, but yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're here now, good to go, and we're going to talk about some stuff going on in the NFL. We'll say that for last because usually do a lot with picks and all that. Going to start with MLB, and we have even some NBA to talk about as the season is getting close.
Yep.
Jordan, we lost you.
Really? I'm still here.
I'll
Hello?
get started while waiting for Jordan to come back. So looking at Major League Baseball, there's quite an interesting race that's been brewing where Dylan's saying he's on the screen. Okay. Once again, I don't see him, but I don't know what's going on here. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. For some reason, your picture went out, and then all right.
Yeah. Like I was talking, but I guess it wasn't picking up. But
Okay.
Can you hear? All right.
Yeah.
Are we good? Are we good now?
We are good now.
All right. It's terrible, man. Woo.
I mean,
All right.
we'll make up for it. But like I was saying, we'll start with Major League Baseball because the season's coming down to the end. Everybody's fascinated by the Aaron Judge, home run chase. He's still one away. For all we know, it might happen while we're alive. But he's also in the Triple Crown, which we know is difficult to do. So, in your mind, Jordan, do you think Aaron Judge should be the MVP, or do you look at a guy like Shohei Ohtani that we know everybody loves Shohei Ohtani, and he's having a great year again, but maybe with the historical aspect of Aaron Judge, do you think it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to win it?
I mean, I'm trying not to have my biased opinion here, but because I'm a Yankee fan. But I mean, I think it's a race between him and Ohtani. But I feel like just because like what Aaron Judge is doing, and what he has accomplished this season, I feel like, he deserves the MVP. I feel like every time, like when I'm not watching the game live, I feel like every time my ESPN app goes off, it's like Aaron Judge hits a home run, like every game.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, I mean, obviously, people are have their cameras out, have their phones out, witnessing this moment. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want Aaron Judge to win it, but I mean, Shohei, I mean, he's a pitcher and a hitter. But I think his stats, Aaron Judge's stats, is too far fetched for him. I think he has it. He has it. I'm like, what do you think? Being a Boston Red Sox fan, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I know you saw Dylan. He's a Blue Jays fan.
Uh,
So that's interesting. You're a Yankees fan, Dylan's Blue Jays fan, and I'm a Red Sox fan. But for me, I think, Aaron Judge is having such a superior I mean, offensive production season than Otani. But with Otani's pitching record, I mean, he's like 14-8 with a 2.47 ERA, which is incredible. I wonder the fact that he does both jobs, will that sway voters his way? Let's say if Aaron Judge doesn't get the AL record, or he doesn't win the Triple Crown, will they maybe take some votes away from him? I mean, if it was me, I would take Aaron Judge only because he's not just a power hitter. He can hit for average, and he has a lot of RBIs. So I just think his season is so special that he should win it this year. And it's also crazy to me that the Angels have Otani and Trout, even though Trout's been in and out of the lineup this season, and they can't seem to make the playoffs, which is kind of crazy to me. So the Angels are kind of wasting these great years they're getting from Otani so early in his career already.
right, right. And just to go back off of just that what Dylan said. Team records had what Dylan said. I think team records had to do with a lot of awards.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it was. I think it was a typo. I give it to Judge. I feel like the Yankees will be a playoff team and Angels won't. I mean, that brings up a good point because, record wise, let me go to the standings. 1 second to kind of like.
I mean,
so
the Yankees are closing in on like 100 wins,
almost 100 wins, and then the Angels, they are sitting at like 20 games below 500. So they're at 30. They're at 0.56. No, I'm sorry, 0.438. So they're below 400. So yeah, I mean, I would got to agree with Dylan, like how stats do matter. But I feel like Aaron Judge deserves it. Everyone's waiting for that next home run. So he'll tie that record, and possibly he can untie that record with 2 home runs.
Yeah.
So what he's doing, Freddie. Man. What's up, Freddie? Man, love the support, man. Like and share. Chilling.
Yeah, I mean, I think that has to come into play because if you look at it, MVP, most valuable player. If you're on a team that's not making the playoffs, then how valuable can you necessarily be?
Right.
And like I said, if he hits 62, 63, 65 home runs, I mean, you kind of have to reward him for that. I think it's an easy vote, but we know with baseball, some of these writers can get a little wild with their votes on these postseason awards. And we never know. Maybe Otani gets it just because of the dual aspect that he, has to handle being a pitcher and being a hitter at the same time. But I agree, it should be Aaron Judge.
Who like how the is the MLB put the MVP do the fans vote or do the executives vote?
I believe it's the baseball writers and media type people who do it. I think fans only really vote for all-star games and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, the writers better make the smart decision because I mean, if Aaron Judge does not win the MVP, everyone's going to be heated. Because he deserves it. Like you said, he deserves it. Because our team has been kind of injury prone. Like we had Stanton out. Like LeMahieu was out for a little bit. We had some key pitchers out. But Andros, he's stayed healthy all year, and and hasn't really had a major injury this year at all. And he's our offense. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I feel like he deserves the MVP. Like he's like you said, most valuable player, right? And he's the most valuable player on the team.
Right. And I think two things that work for him: he plays in New York, big media market,
Yeah.
and with Stanton, because those two are supposed to be like the dynamic duo. With Stanton missing a lot of time this year, and Aaron Judge has been kind of a steady force in that lineup. I think that's definitely working in his favor as well.
For sure, for sure.
Um, I mean, I guess we can move on from baseball since
I feel like the Raiders. Dylan had a comment.
Dylan got a
I feel
comment.
like the Raiders and media should be able to select the candidates for MVP, but as us fans shouldn't get to vote. I agree. I feel like just like the All Star game and how we vote for that. I feel like we should have a say in like who gets in or who gets out.
Yeah, I mean it's a fans game. Why not give them some type of input in that? Once again, that'd be another way to connect with your fans, because we know with baseball that's kind of been a, a topic of discussion in terms of their fan bases. Because I think out of the major sports, baseball tends to have the oldest fan base, and I think doing what Dylan was talking about could bring in younger crowd and really make it so that people are excited for the awards when they come out.
Right.
But yes, I mean, I think we pretty much agree with Aaron Judge on that one, and I think we can go to our next topic, which is the NBA is starting pretty soon. I was looking on ESPN. I think preseason games start this weekend. Oh, Jordan, I think your TV might be too loud. But yeah. So with preseason starting this weekend, I think it's a good time for us to do some preview talk. And we're not going to go through Eastern and Western Conference on today's episode. We could do Western Conference next week. But looking at the Eastern Conference, there's been a lot of player movement and all that. What are your initial thoughts on the Eastern Conference as you sit there right now?
Are you talking about the teams that like had made moves too, like the New York Knicks, like the Chicago, like the
yeah, like teams you like what they've done in the offseason, teams you might be worried about, stuff like that.
Well, the teams. All right. Well, I'll first start with the teams I'm excited about. The Cavaliers. They made some good moves. They got that young team with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, and then they got Mobley. And then they still got Love come off the bench.
Hey, Key,
so
what's going on?
What's going on, Key? Yeah. So that team is gonna be nice. I guess they got Philadelphia in the mix. I mean, they didn't even make any moves. I think did they re-sign Harden? I think, or they're in the talks.
Yeah, Harden re-signed at like a lower number to help them sign like PJ Tucker and stuff. So, since you brought up Philly, do you think the Embiid Harden duo are good enough to win a title in Philly?
I think they need one more star next to them, like a third star. Not saying that Embiid and Harden can't do it by themselves, but they need like maybe like another key shooter because Harden can't do it all himself. Now, the team that I'm worried about is the Chicago Bulls because I just heard that Lonzo Ball might be hurt for the year because he had to come back from January, and they said that the injury that he had might sideline him for like the whole season. So their season's kind of in jeopardy with that.
I mean, Key brings up a good point about Philly.
Oh, yeah, I love Maxey. He's nice. I'm saying they need like a third like superstar next to them, like to like I mean, I'm not hitting on Maxey at all. I'm saying that how Brooklyn has Kyrie. I mean, is Maxey on Kyrie's level? No, I mean he can get there though. Yeah, I saw that Harden lost 100 pounds.
Let's see. Yeah, okay, that's going back to the Bulls. And what's up, Mike?
What's up, Michael?
Man, how you doing?
What's up, fellas? I'm on the network, right up in my lane. Wish I could come on right now sharing this. I am a historian of 50 years, fact, and I played against our. Really, you did?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh no, about that, Michael.
No,
That's
he's got all the stories, man. I believe it.
so that's cool, man.
Yeah,
They call him the con man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, the Bulls. I I think it's going to be an interesting with Lonzo Ball. The fact that he's kind of becoming one of those guys where his health and injury history could be like a major story when you write like his career once it's over. You'll look back at all these years and be like, if only he were healthy, how good could he have been? How good could his teams have been? Because, like I said, with the Bulls, they have guys that are ready to win, but I think they're another team that might be missing a couple of pieces here. Because if you look at like the hierarchy in the East, you're looking at the Bucks, you're looking at the Sixers. I'm still gonna say my Celtics. I know they're going through a lot right now, but I think they're up there. Brooklyn, if they figure out their dynamic, if Ben Simmons could come back and be, I guess, mentally ready and show some improvement. I mean, luckily for him, with Durant and Kyrie, at worst, all they really need him to do is rebound, play defense on wings like Tatum, Brown, um, Harden, guys like that, and just facilitate. That's the least he can at least give them. Um, Philly, I mean, we talked about them too with Harden and Bede. If Harden is locked in and legitimately committed to this season, then they're major players as well. You talked about Cleveland. I mean, the East is stacked once again,
Yeah.
and for a team like Chicago, they might get lost in all of it.
Yeah, Dylan made a good point. Like Billy Donovan said, they should prepare for a season without him.
Mhm.
So I mean, I said the question. I don't know who would replace Lonzo. I mean, I know they got Caruso. Who's gonna play that two spot? I mean, that two spot. That's a big hole to fill. And like Chicago, like fans hasn't really seen a winning year since like the Jordan years. You know what I'm saying? Like they really haven't been relevant. But I mean, I guess
Well, they had a couple of
they've
good years
gotten.
with Derrick Rose.
I mean, yeah, they got and DeMar DeRozan. Yeah. I mean, but like think about it, like they really haven't had like a consistent, winning season since
Right.
like the Jordan years. But I
Yeah,
mean,
I know.
they got younger and like Lonzo Ball came into town. Kobe White, yeah, Kobe White's nice. Yeah, I forgot about him, a UNC player.
Mhm.
He's nice. He might fill the spot. He has a big hole to fill in that spot. But like Dylan said that like when they not even when the season starts, like right before it starts, the coach is already saying they're already really preparing for him to not play. So I mean, I think Kobe White is gonna get that big shine. He'll probably Kobe White and Caruso at the 1 and 2, probably a DeMar at the 3 or 4. I think I'm not sure who their big man is.
They have,
Do they have Lauren Marketing or did he get traded?
I believe they traded him. They still have Vucevic.
Vucevic, yep, Vucevic. So yeah, I mean, but like you said, other teams are better right now than them right now. They got the Heat, the Celtics. But I don't know with their Kodak situation that could either derail them or make the Celtics better. So we'll see about that.
They'll be
I
fine.
mean, the Knicks are going to be the bottom because even though they got Brunson, but I mean, the East is getting more competitive, man. Jimmy Butler growing them dreads out. Have you seen them dreads? Or do
I've
you
seen
think
them. I've gotten to the
they're
point
real?
where I've got to the point where I just look at Jimmy Butler and he just loves trolling people. So there's a good chance come this season he may not have them on. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Jimmy Butler at this point. I mean, he seems to be embracing them. More power to him. But Yeah, I saw those pictures going around, and I was like, it's always the same as the LeBron bald picture that's been bouncing around.
Oh my god, I saw that. I thought that was real because his hairline is kind of pushed back.
I mean, it's been pushed back though, and at least he's not doing those like thick headbands anymore.
Oh my god, man! I mean, LeBron need to get that just for men, man.
Hey, I feel like at this point he might as well just do the bald look. Try it out. Roll with it, man.
Do the Jordan look, the ball head look.
Yeah.
Michael says, sharing this. My show comes on Thursday night on this network at 7:00 p.m. with a very special guest. And guess who will be coming? Oh, Patrick Ewing and Patrick Berry. Wow. I'm going to have to tune into that show, man, on Thursday night, right, Michael? All right, I'll definitely tune into that show, man. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, man. I appreciate that.
I was going to ask a question. All right, so you brought up the Knicks with
oh yeah, well, that's in the West though, Michael. Like
Mike, we're gonna talk Western Conference next week, but we'll definitely talk about New Orleans next week. So with the Knicks, we know the past few years they've gone into the offseason with like big dreams. You know, remember they chased down LeBron, they chased down Donovan Mitchell, they chased all the big names. Now they got Jalen Brunson, who I have some questions about because we don't know what Jalen Brunson will look like when he's not with Luka. And now going to New York, you know those Knicks fans are going to expect big things from Brunson. I mean, they paid him, $100 million. Do you think he was the right guy for them to give that money to? Or was this kind of a situation where they're just desperate for a star and they threw as much money as they needed to at the first person they could?
I mean, I think that I mean, they shot themselves in the foot without getting Donovan Mitchell. I mean, I know, like, you know, he went to the Cavaliers, but they had their eyes on him. I feel like, you know, he would have obviously been a better pick than Brunson. But Brunson, I mean, people don't like. I don't see people hating on him, but like the man can shoot, he can play. But you know, I mean, they got like some young stars. They got R.J. Barrett. They signed him. Mm-hmm. I think they still have Cam Reddish, I believe. They have Randall. I mean, they have, you know, my boy Emmanuel quickly, but definitely do I agree that they're desperate. I mean, they could have got a better player in the market, but like I don't know. I mean, that money, like you said, $100 million. That's crazy for a lot. So yeah, I think it would be it's definitely a desperate move. But hey, you have to take risks.
Well, I know with the Knicks in the media there, they're going to be paying attention to the Cleveland all season because from what I saw, you know, reports and all that, the Knicks basically didn't do the Mitchell deal because of, I think it's like Quentin Grimes or something. They didn't want to put him in the deal and Cleveland wanted him. And if that's true, and if the Knicks struggle this season and the Cavs have a great year, Knicks fans are going to wonder, is Grimes worth not getting Donovan Mitchell into New York, even though Mitchell wanted to be in New York? Like he let it be known like he was fine going to the Knicks, but I mean that's New York. That's the Knicks for you. And
yeah, man.
And in that division, they're gonna continue to fall behind the Celtics, the Sixers, and that's their two main rivals in that division. And almost what you said with the Bulls, where they've been waiting for some success since the Jordan era. I mean, for the Knicks, it's been
since like the Patrick Ewing.
Yeah. All right. So Common gives us his East is tough. He'd go with the Bucks 1. I agree with that. Nets 2. I mean, if all three of them are on the same page, okay. Philly 3, Cavs 4, Heat 5, Celtics 6.
I do like I like the Hornets too. I mean, they have LaMelo Ball. I mean, they have PJ Washington. But I heard
I don't think so.
I heard they signed LiAngelo Ball too, so he's a good pickup.
That doesn't move the needle for me at all.
I mean, they're young though. They're young. I mean, they're way better than the Knicks right now. I mean, they're better than they're better than the top bottom teams.
Well, my issue with the Hornets
I
is
put I put them at 7.
no, that's way too high for them. I would be shocked if the Hornets came in seventh. My problem with the Hornets is I think when they put all these young pieces together, there was a lot of hype behind them because, like you said, LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, PJ Washington.
Gordon Hayward.
Well, Hayward, I mean,
He's like,
Hayward was seen as the veteran guy to get
yeah,
these young guys all together, but Hayward's been injury prone. So it's kind of hard for him to have such an impact when he's not playing.
yeah,
But now, probably maybe their most tradable asset would have been Miles Bridges, but we know he's had an offseason that's been kind of rough and he's not going to be around. But I just think the Hornets are probably going to have to reset at some point and move some of these pieces out and try to go with another young group with a mixture of better veterans than Hayward, who's always out, or I mean they had like Plumlee for a few years, and it's just they're just not good enough to me right now. So I would have them out of even the play-in because I think with the top 6 is kind of set, but play-in you're looking at like Atlanta. The Hornets aren't better than Atlanta. You're looking
yeah.
at maybe like Indy, maybe. I don't know if the Hornets are better than them. I know a lot of people seem to be like writing off the Raptors, but you could say the Raptors might be number 7, and I wouldn't put the Hornets ahead of them either. So if the Hornets do sneak in, it'd be like 10th, but now you're looking at Washington.
Mm.
I, I mean, maybe past years the Hornets would have been fine, but I just think, yeah, they're not it anymore.
I mean, yeah, I have to agree with Michael. Like, I mean, those top 5, top 6 teams, but I think it really don't matter. I mean, like, well, like the Bulls, they're gonna be down there, like the Hornets. But I mean, I feel like they're gonna have a kind of better year than last year. We'll see. We'll see. Here, fellas, here's the key. All the great championship teams have to go through the pain of losing. Look at the Celtics, Bulls, Lakers, Pistons. They all had to go through the pain of losing and learning how to win. I mean, wait, Michael, are you talking about like the new modern day Lakers or like the old school Lakers?
I feel like that's probably throughout history, I'm guessing, because the Pistons we know had to deal with the Bird Celtics for a while, and then
Yeah,
they kind of got past them. Jordan's Bulls had to go through Isaiah Thomas and those guys with the Pistons with the whole Jordan rules, and then once he got through them, he was good. The Lakers had to get well. I mean, the Lakers and Celtics back in the day, that was like the major rivalry,
yeah.
around the championship. But I mean, I see what Michael's saying, yeah, and I mean, yeah, for some of the teams at the bottom, that is true. It's just that I don't know if the Hornets are ready to come out of that yet, and
Right.
I
Like,
feel like there's another
like
team
they don't
missing
have
that would
that.
be fun.
They don't have that superstar that. I mean, they have Lamelo, but they need that like LeBron James as like Kevin Durant type of superstar on that team, like a top tier, team. They get them there, but yeah, Michael brings up a good point about that. Championship teams have to go through some pain of losing some years, missing the playoffs to learn how to win. And I mean, I know we're going to talk about the West next week, but that's what the
Mhm.
Lakers are going through right now. Like they missed the playoffs. Got some new players. Maybe hopefully they'll gel together. But I mean, tough teams go through some stretches.
Okay,
But
so he's talking about
like
both.
I want to ask Michael, like, how was it like playing against like Dr. J? Like, like that's awesome, brother. That's awesome.
Well, I guess quick question for you, Jordan. So you're talking about the Hornets. Would you take Hornets or the Pistons?
Michael still lost 9 years straight, man. Oh man, that's rough. But that's dope, man. That's dope. That's awesome, man. Man, I'd love to have you on the show, like, so you can tell us stories, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll probably have to work that out maybe for next week.
Yeah, we talked about the West Coast.
Yeah, because I've heard comment on some of the other shows on here, and yeah, he's got a lot of good stories. But yeah, so Jordan, would you go Pistons or Hornets this season? Who do you think would be better?
I think Pistons, man. I
Okay.
think because they
Yeah.
got like Kay Cunningham, they have Stewart for the center. Um, they got some young pieces. I mean, they're kind of even because I mean they're kind of like in that lower tier of like the rankings. But I mean,
But my only thing was I think, yeah, both teams are young, but it seems like the Pistons are at least progressing to something, whereas the Hornets, I feel like they're kind of just stagnant right now. And
yeah,
Cade Cunningham is progressing each year, and I feel like he's going to be more of a problem than. I mean, I would take Cade Cunningham over LaMelo Ball right now, and I know how much hype LaMelo Ball came into the league with, and that's hard to like live up to when who his dad is, Ball brothers, their like social media presence and all that. And I mean, it seems like so far he's been handling it pretty well, but I think Detroit will probably be better than the Hornets this season.
yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
All right, so I guess before we move on, if you had to pick the playoff teams, would you? So did you say you would agree with Michael's list, or would you change the top six in any way?
So I would definitely so Bucks one. Depending on how the season goes with like Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons, I feel like Bucks and Nets will be fighting for that 1 and 2 seed. So 1 and 2 is kind of like a lock between those two. Five. I can see the five going. I can see Heat going to the three. Because Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry and all of them, they're going to be back. I mean, I know they're going to be just like Michael said. Like they lost against the Celtics in what that was the Eastern Conference Finals last year. So
Yeah,
they know they're gonna be hungry. They're like a game away from beating them. They went to Game 7, right?
yeah,
They went
that
to
because that
Game
was a
7
series where Butler pulled up from three with
from
like,
three.
yeah.
But I mean, Cavs 5, 6 Celtics. I mean, depending on how the coaching situation goes with Celtics, I can see them moving up a little bit too because they still had Jalen Brown and Tatum.
Mhm.
I heard your center Robert Williams was kind of hurt. He's banged up, but that's
Yeah,
another
he'll be
key.
out for a couple of weeks to start the season.
But
Um,
I mean, I like Michael's list. I mean, other than the 2-1, 1 and 2, I like Philly in there, Cavs. Those are all locks. But like Michael said in the comments, like I mean, after the sixth spot, like I don't know, it's all up for grabs really. After those top six, how about you? Do you agree with his list?
no. I'm fine with the Bucks being one. I can't put my Celtics all the way down to number six. Um, I mean, between the six, they are good teams, but I would go probably Bucks one. I'll leave the Nets two, only because if you get a full season of Durant, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons, I feel like they should be that high. Whether or not they finish there, we'll have to see. I would go. I would still put the Celtics ahead of Philly because I have to see a full season of Harden and Embiid, and I know Harden is in good shape now, but will he be that way the whole season? And will he be locked in? And I'd probably go. I might go the Heat 4, Philly 5, Cavs 6. That'd be but I agree with the top 6 that he has at least.
Yes, network.
Then no, you're right. Then
But
after that, um, I think for the Hawks making that trade for Dejounte Murray, I would like to see he and Trae Young how that dynamic works because we know Trae Young is ball dominant and Murray likes to have the ball in his hand as well. So, which one of them do they put off the ball? And then defensively, how does that work? Because now you got to hide. Well, I mean, they already had to hide Trae Young anyway defensively. but at least DeJounte Murray is there to guard, tough wing players where Trae Young obviously can't do that. And then after that, I think Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal is too good for the Wizards not to be at least a play-in team. I think that's crazy if they don't. And then 9 and 10. I mean, I could throw that up to anybody at this point.
I forgot about the Hawks too. They're up there too with DeJounte Murray and I forgot about the Hawks, but I mean, like they might be in like that top 3, top 4 too, like depending on how they do, because like Dylan said, like off ball Trae Young is lethal, man. Like especially they got a good hard nosed defender and scorer in Murray. It's gonna be fun to see that duo too. Like I totally forgot about the Hawks like for a minute, like until Dylan like brought it up, but yeah, the Hawks are in that mix too. Like can't forget about them.
Well, like I said, I would need to see those two play.
Yeah, for sure.
How that works.
On paper, it seems like a good.
On paper, it seems like an upgrade over last season for sure. Yeah. But they did. I mean, they did lose Kevin Huerter, who he was a major part for them last season, and yeah, Dylan, off ball, Trae Young, scary. I don't know, because I mean, I want to believe that, but for some reason, I just have in my head, I don't know, him. So I guess for Dylan, you would think of him more of like the, I guess, Ray Allen, Klay Thompson role, running off screen, catching on the wing, make a move, and something like that. So I mean, I guess he could do that. I still wouldn't have them in the top 6. If the Hawks are in the top 6, then I guess maybe the Celtics coach news over the offseason plays a bigger part than I think. Or Embiid and Harden, maybe Harden around the trade deadline wants out or something. It has to be something like that before I could really put the Hawks up in the top 6. I guess, Con Man chiming in again. It's great that there's going to be so much parity, both conferences, NBA. I completely agree with that.
I 100% agree with that. 100%.
Yes,
the
that's
way
why
the West has moved, like Gobert not on the Utah Jazz no more. I mean, the Utah Jazz is being blown up. You got Zion coming back. I know we're from Western next week, but yeah, like I definitely agree with that. Like both conferences are stacked, shifted teams. Like you said, I can't wait for the NBA season to start. I'm excited, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. And Dylan said, I'm a Hawks fan, so I hope. And no, he needs to be less with the ball in his hand. The reason Curry is so dominant is he can create his own space when good defensive teams press him. Yeah, I mean, he has a point. Like when, because when all focus is on Curry, he opens up. It opens up opportunities for like Klay Thompson or like Jordan Poole to get open shots when the defense is collapsed on Curry. And Trae Young, I mean, obviously Curry's been in the league longer than Young. And Young can basically be that Curry type player, like off ball type of player. I mean, he doesn't have the range to be a shooter like that. Coming from like Oklahoma, so
that is one thing I would like to see Trae Young kind of dial back with. He takes too many logo threes for me. I don't need to see him shooting from that deep multiple times a game. And I don't know if that's a product of, him being compared to Curry pretty much his whole time when he was in college and then coming into the NBA. But just because Curry can do it every once in a while, I don't think everybody needs to do that. Okay, so I guess Dylan's okay with it. I guess before we move off the NBA, I guess the last thing would be, so who would you have coming out of the East right now? Or who do you think would be like the Eastern Conference Finals matchup as of today?
It's going to be probably Brooklyn and Milwaukee, man.
And then who would you have moving on?
I mean, I want to say the Celtics too, but like just like, does that coach the new that's coming in going to have that playoff experience like that? Because but in that series, if depending on if the big three, Ben Simmons and Kyrie and Durant, if they all can like stay healthy and gel and have that chemistry, then that's gonna win that series. Not getting any, talking down Giannis, but Giannis can guard all three players like at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's true. Yeah.
so, but
Um,
that's if pending. I say pending in big asterisks in quotation
mhm.
marks. It's pending if Ben Simmons can play. I mean, they
I
have the pieces. They have Joe Harris. They have Patty Mills, I
yeah.
believe. Still, they got
Yep. They
a
signed
deep
him.
bench. So I mean, yeah, I had the Nets winning that series.
The Nets will definitely have a lot of pressure on them
Oh
this
yeah, for
coming
sure.
season. If I was to pick, I mean, I'd go with the Bucks. I don't want to bet against Giannis. I just love, Giannis's mentality. When he's out on the court, it's all about him and the Bucks, and he will do whatever it takes to win. And I love that. I mean, I know it would be tough for my Celtics to make it back to the conference finals because with a lot of teams in the East that have gotten better, so their road there it would be difficult. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say Bucks Celtics next season. I mean, this may blow up in my face in a few months, but
Oh man.
only because so the whole coaching situation aside, I know that's a big story and it'll be a big cloud over this season.
And
But
more info might come out too. So I mean, that's gonna be.
I completely agree with that. Now they did pick. It's not like they went outside and brought in an interim coach. They
Right.
elevated a guy who was on the staff. He's been in the organization for a few years because he coached the G League team for a couple of years and then was brought onto Udoka's staff last season.
Right.
So even though the voice is different, I feel like the players will still have a connection with him and it won't be that big of a dip. But yes, it's definitely going to be difficult for them. I think they might struggle early on in the season only because the Udoka stuff is still so fresh. And there's going to be questions about it during the season, which, it's expected. But hopefully nothing new or major comes out in that story and the story can kind of move to the back of the player's head because if something, some bombshell does drop during the season, that could be a big thing. But yeah, we'll see. We will see, and it will be a great season. Like
Yeah.
we said,
I
we
can't. I
commented.
can't wait, man.
I mean, when I looked and saw like some preseason games coming, I think this week or like next week or something, I was like, okay, let's go. I'm ready to watch some preseason basketball.
Yeah, games don't count. I mean, I know we're gonna talk about like the Western Conference next week, but like, what about like LeBron, like possibly getting close to like that, breaking that record of Kareem now? Like,
Which record?
I saw that article. It was the 1 second. I gotta go to the homepage. My computer's kind of laggy right now. Let me see.
Okay.
It was the LeBron NBA scoring title.
Oh, okay, got you.
I mean, I know we can get it done until next week.
No, yeah, but quick thought about it. I would say, that's a sign of his longevity for sure, because what was it? Kareem had it. I mean, Kareem played forever, and for this day and age with athletes being bigger, faster, stronger, for LeBron to be around long enough to get that scoring title, it's definitely big kudos to him in his career. Now, it still doesn't, make me bump him ahead of Jordan. I will say that for greatest of all
we can
time.
definitely debate that on another show or my show, but I mean,
I know we will.
I'm for it, man. I'm for it, bro. But yeah. Oh, let me go back to Michael's comment, man. Fellas, great show. I have personal stories about JoJo White, Dennis Johnson, Larry Bird, Red Auerbach, Reggie
Right,
Lewis,
yeah, really.
Pat Ewing, and more. Did you know that Larry Bird was left-handed? I did. I had great. I had the great 10-time Emmy Tammy Sanders on my show. Man, Michael, man, you are a good network, man. If you
What?
please, if you can get like Larry Bird on the podcast, or like you know, Dr. J, please, man,
Okay,
I'll hit
so
you up.
I gotta say something though, because I'm a big Celtics fan. I never knew Larry Bird because I know there's that story where
He shoots awkward though, so I wouldn't. He shoots kind of like awkward. He shots
yeah, he
awkward,
shoots
but
like kind of like a slingshot
like
by his
that. So
head.
it's like that.
But I know there was a like a like a West Coast road trip, and like a game against Portland, he played a lot of the game left-handed and scored like 20-something points. I always assumed that was his offhand, and that's why he kind of did it. But if he was actually left-handed, that is even crazier. And then Reggie Lewis. I mean, I was a little kid when that travesty, well, that happened with him, and he was my favorite player when I was growing up for the Celtics. And then to see, okay, so Common said he'd be honored to come on our show. All right, we'll have to make that happen.
Yes,
But
sir. Yes, sir.
but yeah, the Reggie Lewis thing when that happened, I mean, that was devastating to hear because he was going to be the next era after Bird for the Celtics, and it never came to fruition, which was tough. But yeah, so I think with that, we can go on to NFL stuff, which is kind of the main thing that we do on here every week.
Yes.
So looking back at week 3, once again, we're not gonna go through every game because that takes a while. But what was there? Oh yeah, that's true. Yes, Michael brought up a good one too. Len Bias. That was another tragedy where
Oh man, Len
drafted
Bias.
drafted out of Maryland, and that dude was
So sad, man. So terrible. Oh.
yeah, man.
Like he, I mean, I heard he hit the way he played. Like if he would have, like,
he's supposed to be the next superstar.
He's supposed to be like the next MJ. And see, I gotta read into the story, but this was like, thank God Michael said this because, or mentioned this. Like this will separate like the good from the bad superstars. Like like Jordan when I think didn't he get shot, right? Glenn Bias, or I'm not. I gotta read up on it. Or I think he was
overdose. Yes, yeah.
See, it's hard to mix like life story with like basketball or like sports, but like Jordan, like that's what you get for like. I'm not saying that like saying this to be a rude, but like saying like when you're with the right group of people, what I'm saying, to guide you through the situations. When I was watching The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, like when Rodman went to Vegas. Let's see, like I'm a young head, so like I was born '98, so like it was good to see the documentary. And I didn't know that Rodman was a party goer and everything, going to Vegas and
I can tell you, yes, Rodman was a personality on his own.
Yeah, it sucks that just like that talent that Glenn Bias had, Michael Jordan, that's play style. If he was alive and would have played, he would have been like Michael Jordan. Len Bias, he was gonna be up there, and it sucks the way it happened on draft. I believe he overdosed on draft night. I believe when he got. I think
it was like right around.
I had to research it. I had to research it on more info, but yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks.
Think about that. The Celtics could have had the Len Bias era, which led it to Reggie Lewis, and then on to kind of what it is now. But those two are like major figureheads and what the plan was for the Celtics, and they were gone way, way, way too soon.
Yeah. Just like did I say I'm not sure? Oh, like it's just like even though it's like a different situation, but like just like the Imani Bates situation, like in college. You know what I'm saying? At high school recruit, in his class, drove a car, wasn't his car. The law enforcement found a gun in his car. Now he's in trouble. You know what I'm saying? That's how, like, when you're a star and making that money and like gonna make that money, like you can't get you can't get mixed up in that kind of life. You know what I'm saying? But then again, Glenn Bias, we don't know like what he was going through at the time. But like I mean, it's always important to seek out for help and like reach out for help. Like, but who knows? Maybe Len didn't have that help in his corner that he needed to. But yeah, he could have been. Oh my God, he could have been like great.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's from Maryland too. So like so like my old neighbor, I think, at the time was working at the hospital. Was working at the hospital that he was in, but like in that area near like Baltimore area.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what was such a sad and tragic story. Like, but
I'm pretty sure Reggie Lewis is from that area too.
okay, yeah. I gotta do my research on that, but yeah.
I think Reggie Lewis was on a team in Baltimore that had like Muggsy Bogues as well, and they were like some great high school team in that area. Because I know there's a documentary on that one. I think ESPN did a 30 for 30 on them, and yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine Reggie Lewis, Muggsy Bogues in high school. I mean, they had to be good, but yeah, I mean, it was good to mention that. But I mean, as Dylan put, football. Let's go ahead, jump into that. So week 3, like I said, don't have to go through all the games or anything, but what were some takeaways that you had from this past weekend in the NFL?
The Bills and Miami game, because the Bills could have had that game in the bag if Allen didn't throw it into the ground.
That was a weird play to me because he took the snap, but then he. Well, you talking about late in the game or at the end of the first half?
like the last play of the game where he it was like third and goal, I think, or second and goal, or they're at the goal line, and then he hiked the ball and I think he had either Diggs open in the corner. He just I don't know what kind of throw that was, man, but
yeah, he did some uncharacteristic stuff in that game.
It wasn't Josh Allen man.
Yeah,
it wasn't
because the play I was thinking of was the end of the first half. They were driving down, and he took the snap and was going to spike it to stop the clock, but he fumbled the snap real quick, and then for some reason didn't spike it after that, and then threw a careless pass out to his right that was almost a pick six. I think he threw to McKenzie, and once he caught it, McKenzie couldn't get out of bounds fast enough, and the time ran out.
Right,
and
right.
I was like, that's the first time we saw this Bills team this season kind of do the wrong thing and look a little flustered, and then it carried on all game. And I'm not going to knock Buffalo down too much just for one loss. I mean, it's Miami's best win of the season for sure. The win last week against Baltimore was pretty good, but I think with this one, with everybody thinking Buffalo's the class of the AFC, and for Miami to win a game like they did, I think that's their most impressive win. And definitely made me more of a believer in Miami than before, because after the first 2 weeks, I wasn't totally sold on them or anything like that. So, but I guess I'll go with another takeaway I had was the Sunday night game, Denver and San Francisco.
Terrible.
That was tough to watch because, I mean, San Francisco offense couldn't do anything. Denver's offense looks like a complete mess. I was surprised they even won that game. So looking at that game, would you give each team's defense more credit, or would you just say that their offenses are a complete mess right now?
Oh man, I don't know. I had school on Monday. I didn't want to I fell asleep most of that game.
Yeah.
I mean, not many people were happy about that game, how the play style was, But I mean, honestly, it was a low scoring game, so I have to tip it to the defense teams. Like you said, it was a boring, very boring game. I feel like the Ravens should have been in prime time. I mean, I feel like I feel like Ravens and New England would be a better primetime game than the Niners and Broncos.
I mean, I assume they kind of just put that on the schedule because
I'm surprised that Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers was in Sunday Night Football, but
Well, I think they picked that game because of Russell Wilson's history going up against the Niners and first time with his new team or something. I don't, but yeah, I would agree. Usually Brady Rogers is prime time only because of the, you know, looking at those two as greatest quarterbacks ever, and they like to compare the two. Yeah,
Yeah.
the NFL, can make some mistakes with the schedule. Trying to think. What
Like
other?
the other game I was shocked at, it was the Chiefs, man. The Colts came
Yeah, yeah.
2017. I mean, like some of these teams that we all thought on paper coming to season were going to be like 2-0, 3-0. Like Chiefs are like what 2-1, I believe. And I think Colts are 2-1 too, or 2-1-1, or I think they're 2-1.
They're like, I think they're 1-1-1.
1-1-1, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Matt Ryan had the better game. I mean, like Mahomes. Let me see the stats. Mahomes had 20 for 35, 262 yards. John Taylor had 21 carries for 71 yards. Let me just go to the box score of that game. Let me see what's look at more depth stats.
It was definitely a game the Colts needed because they've had one of the
Oh,
worst starts to the season out of a lot of the teams that people were looking at as being potential, I guess Super Bowl teams or whatever. Because, like we said, with the Colts, since Andrew Luck has retired, people have been looking at them to be a team to finally get to the Super Bowl, and they figured once they got Matt Ryan, he was the guy. But it's been a rough start for them for sure.
Right. I mean, Mahomes threw one touchdown and had one interception. I mean, Matt Ryan had the better QB rating with 105.9, and Mahomes had 78.5. That's kind of shocking to me because everyone thought Mahomes they're going to do better against the Colts because you're right, they're 1-1-1, and they're 1-0 at home, the Colts. So yeah, that's a game that Chiefs should have had in the bag.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Colts deserve that win because people were talking about them losing. So I think that's the one that Matt Ryan deserves. But that was a shocker too, man. Like,
actually, that whole division, well, a lot of that division was kind of a shock over this past week because you just said the Chiefs lost to the Colts, the Chargers got blown out by the Jaguars. But I think last week I said I wouldn't be surprised if the Jaguars win the AFC South at this point. Broncos had that. The Broncos had that ugly showing against the Niners and barely won. And then the Raiders lost again.
Yeah, they're 0-3.
Yeah. So that division, I think all that preseason talk, about all of them making the playoffs, I think that's out the window at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let me see what else are the games. You got Bears, the 2-1. No one expected them to be 2-1. Lions, they lost 28-24. Bengals 27-12. They finally got their W. Eagles, man, what a Jalen Hurts. He's that dude, man. 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sheesh. Yep. Saints got 22-14, they lost. Panthers won. Let's talk about that Ravens game, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Go ahead.
But
you're a Ravens fan,
Yeah, I didn't get to watch I didn't get to watch half the game because I was Sunday. I was out with a couple friends. But when I got back home, I streamed it, and when I turned on the TV, Mac Jones had an interception to Marlon Humphrey, and then it was a forced fumble by Kyle Hamilton.
Yep.
Go to the stats for that game.
And appreciate that, Con, man.
Lamar threw 218 yards, 7.5 average, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked 4 out of 12 times. 110.3 for rating, and Mac Jones had 321 yards, 10 average, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 3 for 19 sacks. Lamar rushed for 107 yards. So I mean, Lamar, I mean, he's looking good, man. And it sucks that Mac Jones went down with an injury. I think it's like a high ankle sprain. So like I heard that's a tough injury to come back or because it's a high ankle sprain.
It is, except for Mac Jones is kind of. I think for some people they're saying he should just go ahead and have surgery on it, miss whatever weeks and then just deal with it that way. But Mac Jones kind of wants to just rehab it, maybe come back a little sooner. But like I said, high ankle sprains are nothing to play with because, I mean, you may think you're fine and go out there, take a couple of steps, and you re-aggravate it, and then you're really done for the year. So for me, being a Patriots fan, I'm not expecting the Patriots to like win the Super Bowl or anything this season. I feel like he should probably take all the time he needs, rest up. I mean, it might be tougher, as Patriots fans to, see them because they play Green Bay this week. That's going to be tough without Mac Jones. But I mean, it is what it is with this season. People who aren't Patriots fans are loving seeing them struggle, and Patriots fans are pulling their hair out because they're struggling. But, I'm still going to ride with them until the end of the season when they get eliminated. But, yeah, as Dylan said, hey, bring on the Brian Hoyer show. I'm ready for it.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But I mean, with that game with the Ravens, the Patriots did get good pressure on Lamar Jackson. Problem was there was a few times when they got to him and got a hand on him, they couldn't bring him down. And then once he broke containment, he was able to make some plays with his legs. Mark Andrews had a great game, but I mean, I know what to expect because he's like Lamar's favorite target, and he's a tough cover for any team.
He's like a George Kittle or like a Kelsey on that level, like
Yeah.
on those 31s, like short down yardage, like Andrews is a big target, especially in the red zone too. Like,
yeah, I mean, look at his first touchdown; it was a shovel pass.
Yeah,
to him, and then he ran. Nice. Yeah, I mean, he almost lost the ball, but he recovered it real quick. But yeah, it was a fun game to watch.
I feel like the defense, I feel like our defense kind of like closed the game out. Especially the thing that we didn't do against Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Hamilton had that forced fumble. He punched the ball out. I mean, I thought the ball went out of bounds, but Peters with his athleticism had his 2 feet in and saved the ball.
That was a great play.
Great play. And plus we have another piece coming. Jason Pierre-Paul coming in. Because I know Justin Houston went down with an injury. I know he's out for maybe like a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and once we get our rookie linebacker Ojabo, oh man, we're gonna look scary, man. But yeah, I mean, like Bateman, when Bateman catches it in the open field, his run after catch is crazy, man. In Miami, I think his speed was like 20 miles per hour, like after the catch, I think, or something like that, or like something fast, something quick. Mm-hmm. But like you can see when he makes the catch in the open field, he can juke people out, stiff arm people, and get open, even more open. He's an underrated receiver, and so is Duvernay, so is Prochet. I think he's hurt. And you got Demarcus Robinson. I mean, yeah, I mean we're clicking, man, but we have a tough game ahead of us this week actually.
Yeah,
in Buffalo. I mean, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that with our picks and all that. But I will say after the game, I heard John Harbaugh say, because I think somebody asked him about the Patriots, and he said, they're down right now, but he fully expects like the Patriots to be around the playoffs at the end of the season. I mean, I think he was kind of just paying lip service to Patriots fans, because I know in the back of John Harbaugh's mind, he would love to see the Patriots fail miserably, because that's been a pretty big rivalry between he and Belichick, Patriots Ravens over the past 3 years, because Harbaugh's been there like 14, 15 years now. And I was actually surprised that it doesn't seem like he's been there that long, but
no, it's been that long, 14, 15 years.
I feel like I read somewhere that's been like 14 years, and I had to like do a double take, like, really?
Jeez.
But But I guess if you think about it, he was there with like Ray Rice, and when you guys had that playoff game where you went to New England.
But was that 15 years ago? That was like
I'm trying to. Well, I mean, just even thinking about that. Let's see.
yeah. So that was 20. But that was like 2013, 2012. I think the Super Bowl
Yeah, with the
with
Niners.
the Niners. So that was like what back in like that was back in. Oh, I should as a Ravens. I should know as a Ravens fan. I should know. I think it was in 2013, 2012, but it was
should be right up your alley with this one.
right. Let me see. You keep it talking. I'm gonna do my research real quick on that.
All right. Yeah, Dylan's saying so at least 9 to 10, but I swear I read like 14 years he's been coaching there. Which, like I said, sounds crazy to me.
So career summary: John Harbaugh is a football coach in the National Football League. And has been the head coach for Baltimore since 08 during the time period the Ravens comp.
Okay, so yeah, 14 years. Wow.
138 to 89 record.
Yeah, so 14 years he's been there.
Huh. 2008 season. I mean, it says he's the most successful coach in franchise history of Ravens history. So I mean, his record they prove is 138 and probably more than that now. 138 and 89. So yeah. Oh wait, damn, about a minute. Probably like what? Like
I would agree he's the most successful because other than him, it's what Brian Billick, who had those Ray Lewis teams and all that. But yeah, I'd say Harbaugh's been a better coach than Billick. So I guess I don't know if there's any other games we really need to talk about before we get into our picks, but because we end talking about Ravens Patriots anyway. So since we've done that, I think we can go ahead to the picks.
But make sure do you have a pen and paper? Can you like write this down?
That's right. I will do that. Yes, I got one right here. I mean, I remember my picks. I went 4-1 last week. Dylan, I guess you can put in the.
I can't tell you what my picks. I forgot, but I know I had the Ravens winning. I think I had the Chiefs losing or winning. So I got that wrong.
Oh yeah, because I think I remember. I think you and Dylan took the Chiefs for your lock or something like that.
Oh yeah, I had my lock. Yeah.
Yeah. The only pick I missed last week was I took the Texans as my lock over my upset over the Bears, and they lost by a field goal. It is what it is on that one. But yeah, so we can go into this week. I guess we can have you start while I pull up Dylan's picks that he sent in the.
So I'm looking at ESPN. So the first game is the Dolphins Bengals. I have the Dolphins are Cincinnati is favored to win by 4 points, but that's shocking. But that might be my upset. I mean, I think it's gonna be. I think I'll have the Dolphins beating the Bengals.
Okay.
That's just because they got Tyreek Hill and Waddle and Tua's going off right now. I'm surprised they have them at 4 points for Cincinnati, like a 4-point favorite. That's kind of crazy.
I mean, home teams get
3
points automatically.
They're 1-2 and they're at home and they're still a 4-point favorite. Wow.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe short week. Maybe they're giving it to the home team because of the crowd. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a Thursday night game. And you got Bill the Ravens. All right, wait. So sorry. So did you? So I got Miami. I got Miami beating Bengals.
Okay. So then Sunday night you have
Sunday night. So right now the first game on the schedule is the Bills and Ravens. Buffalo is favored by 3 points. But we're home, so we're 0-1 at home. But
so are you doing this game for your lock or upset or?
I think. Let me see the other game.
Because normally we do Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night.
Okay, so this is a 1 o'clock game, so we can do. Okay,
so Sunday night, Chiefs Bucks.
So Sunday night, Chiefs Bucks. Man, that's like the Madden cover. Chiefs Bucks. Let me see. I got the Chiefs winning that one, man. just because the way the Buccaneers ended that game on Sunday. At the end, play clock running down, then I didn't get the snap off. And plus, um, their O line is kind of messed up right now. So I have faith in Mahomes, so I think he can pull it out. So I got the Chiefs over the Buccaneers.
All right. And then Monday night, Rams Niners.
Monday night, Rams Niners. I got the Rams in that one. Just the way the game was on Sunday night, Rams are gonna blow them out.
Okay. I mean, Niners can have a tough defense. Yeah, we've seen Matt Stafford, get a little careless with the ball sometimes.
It's probably gonna be a close game, but I feel like they're gonna. I mean, Rams are gonna. They better have learned for their first game of the season against the Bills, but yeah, I definitely see the Rams beating them.
Okay. All right. So then, what are your upset pick and your lock of the week pick?
So my upset of the week is going to be. It's going to be the probably going to be Ravens Bills, man. Because I give the edge to them when they're at home. That Baltimore crowd is electrifying. Lamar is having a good year. Bills, their secondary is kind of banged up with Micah Hyde out.
Yeah, that's a big loss for them.
And I always forget the linebacker's name. Something to Travion White, I think.
Oh yeah, he's their other corner. Yeah, he has.
Corner,
I don't think he's played at all.
He's
this
out.
Season yet.
So I mean, the Ravens better take advantage of that opportunity to air that ball out. So yeah, that's my upset of the week.
All right, so then your lock of the week.
My lock of the week is going to be. My lock of the week is going to be the Eagles and Jaguars. Eagles are going to win against the Jaguars. Eagles are a different team. They're a different team than what the Jaguars have faced. They got AJ Brown. They have Jalen Hurts. Their running game is good. Not knocking anything off of Trevor Lawrence, but I just feel like the way. I mean, the Eagles are one of the undefeated teams. I think the last undefeated team in the NFL. And the way they're rolling, I think they got a lock for that week.
Okay. I mean that. Yeah, I think the Eagles have too much firepower for the Jags, even though the Jags are playing well and I like what they're doing. But I know Dylan's picks we'll go over those real quick. So he's got Bengals. Oh, he put some of them in the chat. So he has Bengals over the Dolphins Thursday. He did his lock. Sorry, Kyle, but hey, Dylan, I can live with it. You can take the Packers. I'm okay with that one. His upset pick, he has the Jaguars over the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Key is still in the chat, I'm sure she's not going to like that one. But I mean, not Eagles fans, a lot of them on the network, they're not going to like that one.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Lock me in, dynamic duo. Great show. You both are smooth, operator loving. Thank you, man. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate that comment, man. Dylan's going with Kansas City Sunday night and Rams over the Niners Monday night. Did I miss anything? I've said, he's taking the Chiefs. Yeah. All right. So now, I guess my picks. I think I wrote these down. All right, so I have Bengals over the Dolphins Thursday night as well. I think short week, Dolphins just got a big win. I think there may be a bit of a letdown, and hopefully the Bengals can kind of right the ship on their season because it started off kind of rough, but I'm liking what I kind of am seeing with them. I mean, I think Chase and those guys offensively need to have a big game. I think Mixon, I think he's hobbled, he's questionable and all that. And if he's out, that's a big part of the Bengals offense right there. Although he's had kind of a slow start, but I'd go with the Bengals on Thursday night. Sunday night, I'm going with the Chiefs or the Bucks. I mean, it's tough for me to pick against my guy Tom Brady. I just think the Bucks have too many injuries right now. So the Bucks team that we see right now, they'll be better down the line at the end of the season. I fully expect them to be there at the end in the NFC. But right now, I'll take Kansas City because of all the injuries to Tampa Bay. Then Monday night, I'm gonna go with the Rams over the Niners. Aaron Donald. If Denver was able to put that much pressure on Jimmy G and really get to him in that offense, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Donald himself has a couple of sacks and really, really, messes with their offense. Although Deebo Samuel is a beast, I think the Niners have to find ways to get the ball in his hands more, whether it's out of the backfield, trick plays, all that kind of stuff. He's their most dangerous weapon on offense. And I guess to be honest with you and Dylan, almost went with the Packers as my lock over my Patriots. Only because actually I think I will copy that one only because it's gonna be the first week without Jones, and Brian Hoyer is not Mac Jones, although Brian Hoyer can be steady as a backup, but if Aaron Rodgers can't beat, this Patriots team without Mac Jones, then we're going to have some serious questions about him, especially with it being in Green Bay. I think that factor makes it that I think the Packers win as my lock. And then my upset, I'm taking the Broncos over the Raiders as my upset because I don't know how the Raiders are favored in that game when they're 0-3, but
Yeah.
I know the Broncos offense has struggled, but I think they figure it out and score enough to win there and knock the Raiders to 0-4.
Yeah, I had Adams on my fantasy. He ain't doing nothing for me, man. I picked him because he's like my first round. Devontae Adams. He's like my first round pick. He's not giving me nothing.
I think it'll take.
I think he'll pick it up. Yeah, but oh, by the way, Dylan, your Blues are getting snapped by the Yankees 5-1. So go Blue Jays, right? In Toronto, I think.
Yeah, that game's in Toronto. Con Man dropped another. Happy part of this network. Everyone's welcoming me with open arms. It's only the beginning. I completely agree with you, Con Man.
Yeah, man. Hey, Michael, if you're free next Tuesday, man, let me know, man. We can get on the show, man. We can. I'd love to hear some stories about Dr. J and other players, man.
Yeah, definitely. During like our NBA portion, he would be perfect to have on the show. I think Dylan's coming back at you.
But Vlad ain't doing nothing right now, man.
And Con Man agrees with you too. Lamar MVP.
The Lamar MVP. Oh yeah, let me get your take on Lamar or the Ravens and Bills. What do you think is going to win that game? Because it's at NBC Bank.
I think. Yeah, I think with it being in Baltimore, I'll give the edge to the Ravens. I think if Micah Hyde were there, I might lean to the Bills because Micah Hyde is a guy who kind of flies all over the defense, and he's a guy who can come up from the secondary and, hit Lamar when he does scramble. But I think with him out, I would not be surprised if Lamar has another 100-yard game on the ground because Buffalo does like to kind of put a lot of guys up against the line and blitz.
Right.
And if they don't get to him and he's, scrambles through that, he's going to have wide open field to run.
Right.
So I think that's going to be something that is to the Bills' downfall in that game. So I think the Ravens do win that one.
And I feel like that's what people said. We were home. We were up so big against Miami, and then we just fell apart. But I believe you, man. And like Michael said, Lamar having that MVP year. I'm surprised they didn't put that as a primetime game, even a 4 o'clock game, or wild 1 o'clock game. That's Lamar versus freaking Josh Allen. That's a good game. But yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I mean, you could tell, Sunday night, Chiefs, Bucks, Mahomes, Brady, that's been a big thing. And then Monday night, Rams, Niners, that's like a big rivalry out in the, NFC West.
yeah,
So I mean, I understand it, but definitely probably like once, Brady retires and all that, I think a matchup with like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson will be something that definitely would be prime time when up against, Bucks Chiefs, of course. But so I guess with that,
yeah. I mean,
you could do some
Lamar is
final thoughts.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that before we do that. I think like Lamar, he's like I think first in pass touchdowns. I think first in QBR ratings and fourth in rushing touchdowns. So like he's doing it all, man. He's doing it all. And and I don't want to be biased here, but like Lamar is having so far an MVP season. Like think about it, he didn't really play well in the first half of like the Jets game, but he picked it up week 1. Week 2, he didn't have a bad game at all. I mean, obviously they lost. I mean, he threw for like 300 something yards. Had a 70-yard rush, or 79-yard rush. I mean, and then he had to get against New England. I mean, obviously he threw like I think he has 2 picks on the year right now. But I mean, he's first in pass touchdowns, first in rushing touchdowns. No, the first in QB rating, and then fourth in rushing touchdowns. So, I mean, Lamar's gonna do big things, man. So, but this game is gonna be good to watch.
Well, I mean, in terms of like great stories to follow, with him not coming to a contract and then playing it out, where a lot of people were like, that might have been not necessarily a dumb move, but a risky move, because we know with the physicality of the NFL, all it takes is one hit, you're on the shelf, and then maybe your value comes down a little bit. But he's definitely proven right now that whatever the price tag was before the season is going to be going up for Baltimore. I mean, the only other like great story might be like Jalen Hurts with Philly, only because you could maybe say Philly's coming out of nowhere, but I know a lot of people before the season were picking Philly to win the NFC East, but those would probably be the top 2 in the MVP race right now. Then of course you never know over the course of the season. Mahomes might be thrown in there, Josh Allen, because they love giving it to quarterbacks. So you could just look down the list of the quarterbacks that they love. But I'd probably say Lamar right now is leader in the clubhouse, but Jalen Hurts is right there. Me too. I guess before we get out of here, the one thing I'll say is, I know I put in the group chat about the NFL going away from the Pro Bowl. Were you?
Oh yeah,
were you a fan of the Pro Bowl? Did you?
I didn't really watch it, man. I mean, I watched a little bit of it, but like with the whole switch around, it reminds me of like the NBA All Star. Like different events.
Yeah.
It's better than a game, because like you don't want your players to get hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially if you're like a playoff team, and like say like your top player goes to the game, he gets hurt or whatever, or like you're risking that. So I'd rather have games where they can have fun. I feel like fans will be more in tune to the games. I mean, I like it. I'm not sure what kind of games they're gonna have, like skill challenges or whatever.
So what I read was they're gonna still do like a week-long event basically with skills competition type stuff. I'm assuming the dodgeball aspect of it will probably stay in there, because I think that's been a big event for them TV wise. I think people really like tuning in to see NFL players just have fun playing dodgeball. I'm assuming, or at least my hope is that they do like a field goal kicking competition. You bring the top kickers in, let them show like longest kick or most accurate or something. You got to do like a quarterback competition with accuracy, maybe strongest arm type stuff, fastest man. I think there's plenty of things they could do in terms of skills competitions, but they did say that the Pro Bowl game itself, they're going to replace it with a flag football game. And I think that makes more sense because the Pro Bowl is basically guys like walking around making a tackle if they wanted to. It was just kind of like backyard football, but half of them weren't really trying. I think if you do flag football, I think you'll get like, let's say you had like Tyreek Hill on one team, Jalen Ramsey on the other team playing flag. I think they would legit go at it and trash talk and all that. And I think that's what fans would love to see.
Speaking of trash talk, did you see? I don't know if you have Instagram, but there is apparently like Tyreek Hill and Eli Apple have some beef, and I think they play. They play this Sunday coming up. Chiefs and no. Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry.
Eli Apple's
Oh
not
yeah,
Cincinnati, is he?
yeah. I think so.
I kind of lost track of Eli Apple after.
Yeah, so
Giants, so
they had that beef from when they were on in that playoffs last year, and was it the what was it?
I think I remember what you're talking. I can't remember what year that was, but I remember what you're talking about. Yeah,
I think that was last year. I think that was last year. To be honest with you, I think in the press conference, Hill was like, "Oh yeah, I mean, he better be ready," or something like that. But yeah, just to end the show, final thoughts. I mean, like, just like Michael said, NBA season's coming up. I know, we're excited about that. The NFL is still young. Still like we're like 3 games in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we're all. I think sports world, we're all in good hands.
Yeah.
And I appreciate. Michael said I have to promote your show more, and I will. Fan, remember the former Pats player got hurt playing flag football and ruined his career.
Oh yeah, Robert Edwards. I remember that. The only thing was, for some reason, they played that game in sand, which I thought was stupid. I think that was that game. They played it in sand or something, and he like tore up his knee, and like that was the end of that experiment. Once he did that, I'm hoping they don't make that same mistake, and they just do regular flag football on just a football field. Because the NFL said they're doing flag football because that's like, it's like a growing sport or activity, and a lot of kids are playing it, so they're doing that to kind of bring that to the like all-star game festivities kind of. So I'm fine with that. Yeah. But hopefully something like that doesn't happen, because you never want to see that in a game that doesn't matter, a player's career just being ruined.
Right.
Because I remember that. It was Robert Edwards, and I hated it once that happened.
Yeah. And Michael, man, if you want to, I'm not sure if you're doing Friday, but I mean, I have my Digital Sports Talk Show. I don't know if you want to, me and Kyle will be on. He's one of my co-hosts, so like, you can chime into the chat on that show. Probably gonna go live at the same time around like 8:15, 8 o'clock. So if you want to hop on that, share that, promote that, you're more welcome to. And I love this chat, man. The comment section was blown up today, and like,
yeah,
I feel like it was more involved than ever. Like the show that, like Dylan, props to Dylan and Freddie for hopping in. Michael was, Key was in here.
Yeah.
Michael obviously was a big part of this show, giving his intake. But like I said, this is the big three. Me, Dylan, and Kyle.
Yeah.
Dylan
should be back on next week.
So we should have. I mean, we definitely want to add you, Michael, to the show as a guest for sure. But like I said, my show, the JJ Sports Talk Show, will be on Friday evening. So let me know, man. I'll definitely have you on, or you can comment in the section. So thank you for that. Thank you for the supporters. Like just like Freddie always says, we're growing as a company. I mean, we're growing as a brand. Eventually we're gonna make some money out of this, but at the end of the day, it's not all it's about. It's about having fun. Debating. Even if, like Michael said, if we have a debate, I mean, it's no hate towards each other. Just like we're just going back and forth, man. So I love doing this, man, and thanks for the support.
Yeah, and also, there's plenty of great shows on Sports Empire Network, of course, not just ours. There's other ones out there. So definitely, for Facebook and YouTube, like the episode, but make sure you follow Sports Empire Network on Facebook, subscribe to the channel over on YouTube, and that way you don't miss out on any of the great shows and the personalities as well. Because Con Man, you'll see him on the network on several shows and several chats. So definitely got to do that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I know. Yeah, my show on Michael, if you want to listen to my other shows, is on the JJL Sports Talk Show. That's it's on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. And this show, like you said, is on YouTube, Facebook Live still. Like, I mean, it's going to post to the Empire Group.
Yep.
But yeah, just keep on loving and supporting the show. And like Kyle said, there's tons of wonderful talent, men and women on here. You know, and very diverse shows, different people, different talents. That's what it's all about, man. And yeah, like keep on sharing our show, keep on sharing our show, and let's link up, let's network. And Michael, let's do this, man.
All right. So I guess good a spot as any to end this. So for myself and Jordan, appreciate it. Dylan, appreciate you being in the chat, and we'll see you on here next week. So Facebook and YouTube, that's the Big Three Podcasts, and we're out.
All right.
Yep. All right. Talk to you guys later.